Welcome to Beyond the Prep, a podcast dedicated to providing information and insights into the bodybuilding sport. This podcast covers a wide range of topics from finding a coach to the struggling of competing, nutrition, supplements, cost, and much more. I'll be talking with competitors so you can hear their stories, judges, coaches. If you're interested in sharing your story, send me a note at skapach40@gmail.com. Welcome to Beyond the Prep. I'm your host, Sherrie. I'd like to welcome today Sourav. Is that correct?
Got it.
Perfect. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So, were you on stage this morning?
I was.
And how did it go?
It really went pretty well. I did two categories: men's physique masters and men's classic physique masters.
Okay.
And I won both my categories. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
How does that feel?
Oh, it feels amazing. It's been a long journey, and at the end, it's all worth it.
So tell me a little bit about the journey.
Well, it started off, I was prepping for a show for Winnipeg in May. But unfortunately, there were some unforeseen circumstances that happened. My prep didn't go too well, and my body fat was still high. My brother-in-law passed away pretty close to the show days. So things were not looking good for me. And, there was a lot of down moments at that point of time. And, but at the same time, I wanted to keep myself motivated. I didn't want to grieve and feel the pain all the time, but I wanted to dedicate this prep to him because of his suffering and the journey that he went through. I obviously miss him. So I kept that in mind. So this was my dedication towards him when I did this prep. Also, whenever I was thinking about food or cheating or wanting to cheat on diet or miss my workouts, I would always think of it and say, you know what, I'm not going to disappoint him. I am doing this for him. I'm going to keep doing this. So instead of taking the part or the time to grieve, I continued with the prep and I kept motivated. And I feel accomplished that I was able to do it for him.
Yeah, he's probably so proud of you.
Yeah,
winning your categories. Yeah, that's an amazing story, and I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh,
but
it's
really nice to hear that. That's what you chose to do. Is just do for him.
Do it for him.
Yeah. So how long have you been into bodybuilding?
I have been I'm 42 now, but I started training at the age of 35. I know I'm still late in the game, but that's how it started. I started about 7 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. And what got you into it? Like, why did you decide to go there?
Well, it started with a fat loss journey. I was an obese, overweight guy, and I was diagnosed with high cholesterol. So my doctor said, "Oh, you're gonna have to take Crestor or Lipitor blood thinners for the rest of your lives." I said, "Is there any other solution?" He said, "Well, you either can, do something about it on your own by doing some, cardio or lose your weight." So it all started with the focus of losing weight, getting lean, but then eventually the part of bodybuilding somehow, got rubbed on me. I was obviously training at the gym, and I met a few bodybuilders, and I liked the journey. I liked the struggles that they were going through, and I said, you know what, I want to do it. So I started volunteering for bodybuilding shows for long before I started competing on stage. So I was on backstage watching people compete all the time.
Yeah.
And then, and I just was waiting for my moment.
Yeah.
So and it happened.
Nice. That's wonderful. So how did it feel like for your first competition? How did it feel? Like, did you ever think like, oh, why am I doing this? Or what did I get myself into? Or was it a pretty smooth flowing process for you?
I would say the expectations were pretty clear for the first show when I did it. I was already made aware, Sourav, you're not going to win the show. My first show was a men's physique. There was a stat class of like 17 guys, and I got placed. And I was being told already by my coach, he says, Sourav, you're not going to be placed on top three or even not in the top five. And I said, you know what, that's fine. I want to have the experience. I want to see what the journey is like about it. And then we can focus on the improvements over a period of time. And my first show was, as expected, I was ranked 7th out of 15 guys. So the expectations were clear. So we went there, we completed the journey, but then we wanted to keep improving every year. So I would say it was a smooth journey. Although yes, it could be gruesome, especially when it comes down to dieting down and dialing into it.
What's your biggest struggle through the prep part of it?
I would say diet. I'm big on sugar. I love my cinnamon buns.
So you have a stack hiding in your room for after the show?
I actually have a lot of things that I have stashed.
You have a list. That's awesome. Nothing better than after stage. Yeah, that's great. So how do you overcome that?
Well, once I'm training and once I'm focusing, I always reflect back that, what is the point of spending so much time if you want to get into the habit of eating? Like I'm doing an hour cardio in the morning fasted, and then on top of that, if I'm eating something, I'm obviously defeating the purpose of what I'm doing. So that is a constant reminder, okay, the purpose has to be the forefront. Sure, life, you want to enjoy the life too, back and forth. But once I commit myself to it, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna spoil the routine. I'm not gonna waste my cardio energy over a donut. So
yeah, it's good because that mind can just
absolutely
take over for sure. So that's a great mindset to go into it going, what's it worth, right? And it's not forever.
Oh yeah, no,
right?
and we know this is the phase. I mean, but at the end of the day, you also feel good about it. Like when you're eating clean, your body responds better, your brain function responds better, your skin, everything falls into place. So you know the benefits there are that comes out of it.
Right.
So yeah, no,
you feel all around better.
Absolutely.
For sure. So what you know now, what do you wish you knew then when you first started that you know now?
I think now I am better at keeping myself more composed and calm before I step on the stage. And I'm more familiar with the peak week protocols. I know that I need to follow the peak week protocols to the T. When they say drink water, 7 liters or 5 liters, just keep doing it. The timing is of the essence. So you want to, the peak week is really critical. So if you want to do something really good, you're going to have to time things and follow the time and the protocols. I think I was also not familiar with the muscle loss part of it, that I was losing a lot of muscle mass when I was doing a lot of cardio. I still do cardio, but now I have ways to manipulate things and see, your body over the period of time. It just takes time.
Yeah. And once you learn how your body reacts to everything, it makes it a little bit easier.
Absolutely.
Every competition, because it changes.
Yeah.
I find every prep is different, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do, or if anything, you said you calm your nerves, or you're more relaxed and everything like that. Is there anything you do before going on stage to keep that calmness and just keep focused? And
well, actually, I do practice Buddhism, so I am also an active member of the Soka Gakkai Institute of Canada, where it's a Japanese teaching, but it focuses on chanting and meditation. So I chant day and night. It keeps me focused. It gives me the vision. It gives me the purpose of life. It gives me, it helps me develop compassion towards everything in life, overall. So I would say, like, for me, chanting helps.
Okay, beautiful. So if someone came to you and they're considering competing, what piece of advice would you give them? What's the best piece of advice you could give someone that's considering getting on stage?
I would say he or she should know the purpose of why they're competing. Once they've determined the purpose of their reason of competing, they need to commit themselves to it. both physically and mentally. It's not just the physical part of it where you have to just diet, but you have to be mentally focused on 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 your journey, and keep going, and never give up on the dreams, right? Like it may take time, it will suck to begin with, but at the end of
Being honest, yeah.
but at the end it's all worth it.
Mm-hmm. Stepping on stage, and yeah, and like I say, there's your ups and your downs, and as long as they realize it's not a walk in the park, that's for sure. So true. That's wonderful. And so do you have any more shows planned for like this year, or now you're just going to focus on?
I do want to do a Natural Canada Pro Qualifier show next year, since I've done my master's here. Do want to step on the bigger stage. So I think from now onwards, I'm just going to focus on more growth, and take some feedback and see where my weak points are, and improve on the conditioning. And every year it gets better. So we just want to keep going.
That's wonderful. Well, on that note, I'm going to let you go because you're done your show now, and now you can go and get your stack of goodies and enjoy it. That's the best part. So thank you for coming on, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Fabulous.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I want to thank my guest today and my listeners for joining me at Beyond the Prep. If you like this episode and want to make sure you don't miss any others, please subscribe. You can also find us on YouTube.